My beloved child, stop for a moment and give me your undivided attention. The fact that you are sitting here and hearing these words right now is not an accident. You did not click on this video by chance. You did not stumble upon this message because your thumb slipped on a bright glass screen. I have arranged this precise intersection of time and space before the foundations of the world were laid, and my hand has guided your steps straight to this exact moment. You feel exhausted today. Your shoulders are tight, the weight is real, and every morning when you wake up from a restless sleep, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through the day. You smile for everyone around you. But inside your quiet mind, you feel as though you are barely holding on to a thread. I see you in your quiet battles. I have always seen you. Even when no one else notices your struggle, I am watching every silent tear that falls in the dark. The world may ignore your sacrifices, but heaven keeps an accurate record of every single pain you carry. You are not invisible to me. You are my chosen child, and your name is written upon the palms of my hands. I am breaking my silence right now because heaven has declared an emergency over your journey. A massive shift is preparing to unfold along your path within the next 72 hours. Something monumental is set in motion concerning your finances, your health, and your family lineage. Do not treat this sacred message lightly as another ordinary piece of noise on your screen, because this encounter is a divine lifeline sent directly into your home. I need you to wake up from the heavy numbness that has crept into your spirit. You have been calling your emotional silence peace. You have tried to convince yourself that enduring constant pain in silence is a sign of maturity. But I see the subtle cracks behind your brave face, and I love you far too much to watch you bleed in secret any longer while you pretend everything is fine. Listen to me very carefully right now. I have reached out to you 7 times in the dark. 7 distinct times I have stood outside the door of your heart, tapping gently while the busy world made endless noise around your mind. You thought those moments were random events or strange coincidences. You assumed those sudden heavy sighs were just physical stress from your exhausting daily routine, but they were actually sacred signals from my spirit. Every single one of those 7 moments was a deliberate attempt by heaven to catch your attention before you stepped into a dangerous trap. I was calling you back into my presence. I was trying to shield your spirit from an invisible blow that the enemy was preparing against your peace. But you were too busy trying to fix your own life, running yourself into complete exhaustion while trying to hold together things that were meant to fall apart. Tonight, this 7th encounter is your ultimate divine appointment. This is the sacred boundary where your long season of unanswered questions comes to a firm halt. I am unveiling the hidden blueprint behind every single closed door that caused you to weep in private over the past few years. You thought those locks were turned by human hatred, but those doors were locked by my own hands to protect your precious soul from hidden destruction. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins, yet you have been begging for small crumbs of comfort at tables you were born to rule. You have allowed the harsh opinions of broken people to define your value and dictate your peace. You have carried heavy burdens that were never yours to lift, trying to satisfy everyone around you while your own temple was crumbling into ashes under the pressure. That long season of endless performance ends today. I am stepping into your reality right now to rewrite your identity at the highest court of heaven. You are no longer a helpless survivor barely scraping by in a world that feels cold and uncaring. You are my refined vessel, chosen out of your entire lineage to be the one who finally breaks the ancient cycle of poverty, shame, and silent heartbreak. The enemy knows that your turning point is near, and he is deeply terrified of what happens when your spiritual eyes are opened. That is why the atmosphere around your mind has felt so heavy over the past few days. The distraction has been fierce because the enemy saw the momentum building behind the veil before you could even sense it in your physical body. He threw doubts, fatigue, and sudden anxieties into your path to make you turn away from my voice. He wanted you to scroll past this exact message so you would miss your moment of total liberation. But my sovereign grace was far stronger than his subtle schemes. My hand guided your eyes to these words, and my living breath is filling your lungs as you listen to my voice. I am tearing down every false shelter you built out of fear, not to leave you exposed, but to place your feet upon an unshakable rock. What is coming into your life will far outweigh every single loss you endured while walking through the dark valley. I promise you that the boundary line between your current lack and your royal expansion is collapsing before your eyes tonight. You do not need to figure out every single step of tomorrow with your limited human mind, but you only need to remain still in my presence and give me your undivided attention right now. Your restoration is locked into motion, and heaven is waiting for your full agreement in this hour. Do not turn your heart aside right now, because the first 3 times I contacted you happened in the quietest hours of your darkness when you thought no one was watching. The first encounter took place right in your bedroom at 2 in the morning when your chest felt heavy with an unspoken fear that kept you awake. Let me open your spiritual eyes to what really happened during those silent nights, because your complete breakthrough depends on understanding the secret signals I sent to your soul. Stay with me for these next few moments, for the veil is lifting and the full truth of your destiny is about to be revealed. Let us step together into the hidden chambers of your past. I want to take you back into the dark hours that you tried so hard to forget. You thought you were completely alone during those long nights when the world was asleep. But I was standing right beside your bed, watching your spirit wrestle with heavy thoughts that you could never share with anyone else on this earth. Remember the first time I contacted you in the silence? It happened during the sacred hours of the 4th watch, somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning. Your eyes suddenly opened in the dark for no clear physical reason. Your heart was pounding fast in your chest. You stared at the dark ceiling, feeling an unexplainable dread washing over your mind while the room was dead quiet. You picked up your phone to distract your mind. The cold blue light illuminated your tired face while you scrolled aimlessly through meaningless noise. You thought it was just insomnia or late-night anxiety from your daily work. But that was actually my living breath waking your spirit from a dangerous slumber. I was calling you to pray because an invisible spiritual attack was forming against your peace. I needed you to talk to me in that quiet hour. I wanted to place my protective shadow over your mind before the noise of the morning arrived. But you turned back to the screen, swallowed your fear, and waited for dawn while your soul remained exhausted. You missed the quiet whisper of my presence, yet my grace stayed right beside you to guard your breath until the sun rose. The second time I reached out to you was through a sudden physical heaviness. It happened during an ordinary afternoon while you were sitting at your desk or driving home. A heavy wave of tightness unexpectedly seized your chest out of nowhere. Your breath became shallow and brief. You gripped the wheel tightly, wondering why your body was reacting with such sudden, intense panic. You assumed your body was simply collapsing under the weight of chronic stress and caffeine. You told yourself that you just needed more rest or better sleep. But that sudden physical pressure was actually my hand resting gently upon your heart to force you to slow down. I was trying to pull your attention away from a toxic environment that was quietly draining your spiritual authority. I saw how hard you were pushing your living vessel beyond its natural limits. You were carrying emotional burdens that belonged to ungrateful people who only used your kindness. I permitted that sudden tightness in your chest to interrupt your momentum before your heart broke completely under the pressure. I was whispering for you to stop running, but you took a deep breath and kept pushing forward. Then came the third divine contact, the most tender and painful one of all. It happened in the absolute isolation of your bathroom late at night. You locked the door behind you and turned on the running water so no one in the house could hear your stifled sobs. You leaned against the cold sink, buried your face in your hands, and let the hot tears stream down your cheeks. You had worn a brave smile all day for your family and friends. You pretended to be strong, capable, and totally unbothered by the harsh words spoken to you. But behind that locked door, the heavy mask finally slipped off your face. You felt utterly hollowed out, wondering if anyone in this vast world truly cared about the deep pain you were carrying silently inside your soul. I want you to know something profound about that sacred bathroom floor today. I was sitting right there on the tiles beside you while you wept in secret. I caught every single tear before it hit the floor. and I recorded every quiet sigh you swallowed so others would not worry about you. You thought you were drowning in loneliness, but you were actually being bathed in my holy presence. I was using those bitter tears to wash away the toxic expectations of men from your spiritual eyes. I was melting away the false identity of self-sufficiency that you had built as a protective shield against betrayal. You felt broken into 1,000 jagged pieces, but I was quietly gathering those scattered fragments to prepare you for a far greater glory that the world could never give you. Those first 3 contacts were my gentle warnings to your spirit. I was trying to awaken you gently before the major storm arrived at your door. But because you continued to ignore the quiet whispers of my grace, I had to allow stronger measures in your life. I had to step into your daily reality and start closing the doors you were desperately trying to keep open. Stay right here with me for these next few moments. Do not let your mind wander away, because the 4th and 5th times I contacted you involved the painful losses and sudden betrayals that nearly shattered your faith completely. Let me reveal why those doors had to be slammed shut in your face, for your true royal transformation is about to be unveiled right before your eyes. You tell everyone that you are fine. You smile through the deep exhaustion. You play the role of the strong one for everyone around you. And every single day you put on that heavy mask of maturity because you believe that showing your wounds will make you look weak to a cold world. You carry their emotional problems. You fix their broken lives without complaint. But who comes to fix yours when the dark night falls upon your quiet room? I need you to stop calling your emotional numbness peace. Stop calling silent endurance maturity. I see right through that forced smile you wear every morning. I know the exact weight of the silent resentment that has been building inside your chest while you pretended that those harsh words did not hurt your heart. You are completely exhausted from performing. You are tired of pretending to be okay. I want you to drop that heavy mask right now, in my presence. Listen closely as I decode the 4th time I contacted you in the dark. It happened when a major door was slammed shut directly in your face. You had invested your hard-earned money, your precious time, and your emotional energy into an opportunity that you truly believed was the answer to your prayers. You thought it was finally your season. You thought the long struggle was over. Then, everything collapsed overnight without any clear warning. You wept bitter tears over that closed door. You felt deeply humiliated by the sudden rejection. You looked up at the sky and asked me why I allowed your innocent hopes to be crushed into dust. But I closed that door with my own sovereign hand because I saw the toxic venom hidden behind the shiny promise that you were so eager to grab. That environment would have destroyed your soul. That contract was a hidden trap. I locked the gate to save your royal destiny. The 5th time I reached out to your spirit was through the stinging agony of betrayal. It came from a person you loved and trusted with your deepest secrets. You stood by them when they had absolutely nothing to offer, and you poured your pure light into their darkest seasons without asking for anything in return. But when you needed a supportive hand, they turned around and walked away. They spoke behind your back. They treated your loyalty like cheap dust. Your bruised heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. You wondered how human beings could be so cold and deceitful after everything you sacrificed for them. You felt completely abandoned and humiliated by the very people you cherished most. Yet I allowed that painful separation to happen because those individuals were quietly poisoning the spiritual atmosphere of your living temple. They loved your light, but they hated your royal identity. I removed them from your life before they could drain the remaining oil from your vessel. I broke those toxic ties because they were attached to your past, not your glorious future. You thought you were losing a precious friend, but I was actually delivering you from an invisible enemy sitting at your own table. Every person who walked away during your lowest moment was legally removed by my decree so they could not claim credit for your upcoming expansion. Let the tears flow freely right now, my precious child. Do not hold back the pain or try to be brave any longer. You do not have to perform or pretend when you are standing in my presence. I am washing away the dirty residue of every toxic relationship, every public humiliation, and every bitter disappointment that ever made you question your worth on this earth. You were never rejected by heaven. You were being set apart for an extraordinary glory. The enemy wanted those rejections to make you bitter and cynical. He wanted you to harden your heart and give up on the promises I spoke over your lineage. But I used those tears to clean your spiritual vision so you could see the truth. Those closed doors and broken covenants were simply necessary clearings in the forest of your life, making room for the massive inheritance I am preparing to drop into your hands. You survived the dark valley of betrayal and disappointment. You proved your faithfulness while walking through the fire with tears in your eyes. Now lift up your head and prepare your heart, because the 6th and 7th times I contacted you were designed to pull you out of the wilderness forever. Stay right here with me for the next moment, for your absolute breakthrough is turning into reality before your eyes. My beloved child, look at your financial path today. You feel tired. The struggle has been long. You watched your hard-earned money drain away like water through a broken jar. And every time you tried to take a single step forward, an unexpected expense appeared out of nowhere to pull you right back into the same heavy wilderness. You worked exhausting hours. You sacrificed your rest. But the heavy burden of scarcity stayed glued to your name. You began to wonder if a dark curse was resting on your home. You saw corrupt people thrive in easy wealth while you struggled for basic peace. You asked me why your faithful prayers brought no financial answer. I heard every desperate question you whispered into the dark night when you could not see any way out of your mounting debts. Now I need you to change your human perspective right now. What your natural eyes saw as a financial curse was actually my sovereign structural lockdown over your entire life. I allowed those money streams to dry up on purpose. I did not do it to destroy your hope. I did it to repair your vessel. If I had released massive wealth while your vessel was still leaking from deep internal wounds, that sudden abundance would have ruined your spiritual future. It would have brought greedy predators and false friends straight to your door before you were strong enough to guard your heart. So I initiated the 6th contact in the silence. The 6th contact was that heavy, suffocating silence when heaven seemed completely mute to your desperate cries. You thought I turned my back on you. You felt abandoned in the dark. But my silence was actually a protective shield. Let me show you the ancient story of young Joseph. He was my chosen servant. He received bright prophetic dreams from my spirit. But his own brothers hated his royal vision and threw him into a dry pit in the desert. Joseph sat at the stone bottom of that dark pit in absolute terror while his own family walked away without a second thought. There was no fresh water to drink. There was no human hand to lift him out. Every desperate scream he uttered echoed off the cold stone walls in painful silence. Joseph thought his life was over in that dark hole. He felt utterly forgotten by men and abandoned by God. But that pit was never his final grave. It was a secure holding room designed by heaven to hide him until his appointment arrived. If Joseph had gone straight from his father's house to the royal palace, his unrefined pride would have ruined his destiny. He had to learn total dependence on my spirit in the dark before he could manage the wealth of an entire empire. He had to be stripped of his coat of many colors so he could be clothed in royal authority. In the exact same way, my silence during your 6th contact was not my denial. It was my absolute security protocol protecting your future. I was keeping your blueprint hidden from spiritual enemies who wanted to steal your breakthrough before it matured. While you wept over closed doors, I was building a stronger vessel inside your soul. I burned away your reliance on human promises. I taught you to stand on my living word when everything else shook around you. You are not a helpless beggar waiting for earthly crumbs. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins. You were chosen out of your entire lineage to be the unique chain breaker for your family. The ancient cycle of poverty, financial shame, and silent lack that plagued your ancestors ends permanently tonight. I am expanding your capacity in this hour because the royal inheritance I am preparing to hand you will bless your children's children. Type 777 in the comments right now to seal this truth. Let the spiritual realm record your legal acceptance of this divine transformation. When your hands confirm these words, you are officially stepping out of the victim identity forever. You are no longer looking at your past financial delays as bitter punishments from a distant God. You see them now as the secret refinery where your soul was forged in fire. Your time in the dark pit is fully completed tonight. The heavy stone walls are crumbling around your feet. The door of your long holding room is swinging wide open right before your eyes. I have cleansed your mind from the fear of future lack, and I have placed an unshakable confidence inside your heart. The years that the locusts ate are being restored to your account starting this very night. You spent long seasons watching others receive their blessings while you stood in the back of the line, but I am moving you from the back of the line straight to the front of my kingdom promises. Now lift up your eyes and prepare your heart, for the final seventh contact is unfolding right now in this exact moment. Stay with me for these next few moments as I release your complete roadmap into your hands. The boundary between your past wilderness and your royal expansion is dissolving before your eyes. You are stepping into the full manifestation of the promise that was written for your bloodline from the beginning of time. Now, open your spiritual ears and listen to the ultimate secret. The final seventh time I reached out to your spirit is happening in this exact second. You are living inside the seventh contact right now, as my living voice enters your heart through this screen. You thought you were simply browsing the internet to pass the time. You thought you were searching for a quiet distraction before going to sleep. But my sovereign hand secretly guided your thumb to press play on this message because your appointment has arrived. This digital screen has been transformed into a holy altar between heaven and your home today. I built this sacred intersection to hand you your complete spiritual roadmap. Look back at the long road you traveled over the past few years. Remember the bitter tears you wiped away in secret behind locked doors. Remember the terrifying chest tightness in the dark hours. Remember the doors that slammed shut in your face. And remember the heavy silence of the pit. Every single one of those 6 painful contacts was a necessary step to prepare your soul for this 7th hour. If you had not survived those fiery trials, your vessel would have been too fragile to carry the massive weight of what I am about to release into your hands. You were refined in the deep fire of suffering so you could stand before my throne as a pure, unbreakable container of royal abundance. The tears you shed were not wasted, for they watered the ground of your coming harvest. I am opening the spiritual veil right now to show you your true destiny. A massive shift is taking place in the heavenly realms over your entire household today. The long season of scarcity, endless waiting, and quiet heartbreak is officially coming to a firm close. I am unrolling a glorious vision of kingdom expansion that will completely shatter every human limitation that broken people tried to place upon your future. I see new doors swinging wide open in places where you only saw solid brick walls. I see unexpected streams of financial provision flowing straight toward your living room through channels you never dreamed possible. I see lost years, stolen health, and broken relationships being completely restored to your account with double honor. You will no longer have to beg for opportunities or compete with deceitful people for small scraps of comfort. You are my royal child, an anointed heir to an unshakable kingdom. The wealth of the earth belongs to my sovereign hands, and I am directing those resources into your care so you can build my kingdom and protect your family lineage. The heavy chains of generational lack that bound your parents and your grandparents are legally broken off your hands and feet in this sacred moment. You are the chosen one who breaks the cycle forever. Your natural mind can barely comprehend the scale of what heaven is preparing to release into your life over these next 72 hours. You spent years praying for basic survival, but I am preparing to answer you with total overflow. You prayed for just enough to pay your monthly bills, but I am positioning you to become a generous giver who lifts entire communities out of poverty and shame. Look past the temporary emptiness of your hands today and focus on the eternal weight of my decree. You felt small and defeated for so long, but I am placing my royal seal upon your forehead right now. The people who mocked your faith and assumed you were defeated will soon sit in silence and watch the table I prepare for you in plain sight. They will recognize that my hand of favor has been resting upon your life all along. Hold this divine vision tightly in your heart, and do not let doubt steal your sacred anticipation. The enemy is watching this seventh contact with intense fury, because he knows his time of oppressing your mind is completely over. He realizes that you have discovered the truth of your royal identity, and he knows that an awakened warrior cannot be trapped by old lies anymore. He knows his power over your family is broken. Stand firm in my presence right now, and prepare your spirit for the next moment. The battle in the spiritual realm is reaching its highest intensity right before the physical manifestation drops into your hands. I am about to issue my final command against the dark forces that tried to hold you back, so keep your undivided focus on my voice as we step straight into victory. Wake up right now. I am issuing a stern warning to your spirit. The enemy sees that your turning point has finally arrived. He is frantically deploying his most dangerous weapon against your destiny. He knows he cannot persuade you that you are worthless, so he is trying to trick you with a far more subtle trap. He whispers into your tired mind that you should wait, and every time you listen to his quiet lie, you allow him to steal another day of your divine peace. He tells you to think about these words tomorrow. He tells you that you are too tired tonight to make a firm decision, but I need you to understand this spiritual reality before another minute passes away. Delayed obedience is simply rebellion wearing the clever mask of human reason. You feel exhausted. You want to rest. But every single time you hesitate to claim your royal identity, you willingly give the enemy permission to drain your spiritual oil and prolong your wilderness. Look closely at the invisible chains around your family. The spirit of poverty was not a random accident. The dark cloud of chronic fear was not a coincidence. These heavy burdens were legal altars built by dark forces to keep your entire bloodline begging for crumbs at secular tables. Your parents fought those same battles. Your ancestors wept those exact same tears in the dark while feeling utterly helpless against the heavy atmosphere over their homes. Tonight, the line is drawn permanently in the spiritual dirt. You were set apart out of your entire lineage to be the unique chain breaker. You are the one who finally stands up and screams never to dark oppression. I am handing you the legal authority of my kingdom right now, and I command you to draw your spiritual sword. Open your mouth and declare with unyielding faith that every dark covenant made against your family is officially broken, dissolved, and wiped out by the living power of my word. I command the spirit of poverty that plagued your household to bow down right now. Every invisible leech that secretly drained your finances must pack its weapons and flee from your borders forever. Sickness has to bow before my presence. Anxiety must release its suffocating grip from your chest. And every dark decree written against your future by jealous enemies is torn into useless pieces before the Supreme Court of Heaven. I give you full authority in this sacred hour to take back everything that the enemy stole from your life. Take back your stolen peace of mind. Take back your physical strength. Take back your financial overflow. Take back your family joy and the glorious dreams that you buried under the heavy weight of disappointment. The enemy had no legal right to touch your inheritance, and he is hereby ordered by heavenly decree to restore sevenfold everything he took from your hands. Lift up your head and square your tired shoulders right now, my royal child. Stop walking through this cold world with your head bowed low like an abandoned orphan begging for mercy. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins. The full backing of heaven stands firmly behind your every single step. And whenever you speak my promises out loud with true faith, demons tremble in terror, and closed doors are forced to shatter into dust before your eyes. You were not created to live as a passive victim of circumstances. You were born to rule as a sovereign steward over my kingdom resources. The fire of holy boldness is igniting deep inside your spirit right now. It is burning away every lingering trace of self-pity, fear, and human doubt. You are stepping out of the dark shadow of your past and stepping straight into the blinding light of your royal authority. No weapon forged against your soul shall prosper from this night forward. Do not be afraid of the loud noise the enemy makes as he flees from your territory. The roar of the devil is nothing more than a hollow bluff designed to test your resolve before your physical breakthrough arrives. You refuse to bow to his lies. He has no choice but to retreat in absolute defeat. I have placed a wall of holy fire around your home, and my warrior angels are standing guard at every entry point to protect your peace. The spiritual battle over your lineage is officially won tonight. The dark fog of confusion is lifting from your mind. The heavy atmosphere over your household is completely cleared. Now that the enemy has been driven away from your borders, I need you to quiet your soul. Put down your weapons of fear and human striving. Prepare your heart to step into the quiet chamber of my presence, where my living waters will heal every deep wound inside your spirit. Breathe in my holy peace right now, and let your body relax under my protective shadow. The hard fight is over. The time of sweet restoration has finally arrived. Stay right here with me as we step into the sacred quietness of prayer, where your heart will be completely washed clean and your royal destiny will be sealed forever. My beloved child, let your body relax completely right now in my presence. Place your hand gently upon your chest and take a slow, deep breath into your lungs. The hard fight is over. The heavy noise of the world is fading away into absolute silence. Speak these sacred words from the deepest chambers of your soul right now, and let your heart repeat them after me. Heavenly Father, I come before your holy presence tonight with a completely surrendered heart. I am so tired of fighting every single battle in my own limited human strength. I am exhausted from wearing a heavy mask for the world and pretending that I am always strong and unbothered. Today I lay down my heavy armor, and I drop every burden that I carried for so long at your feet. Lord, I surrender my need to control everything in my life. I release the anxious thoughts that kept me awake during the cold and quiet hours of the night. I hand you my unpaid bills, my lingering health concerns, and my broken family relationships. I stop trying to fix people who do not want to change, and I place my entire future securely into your sovereign hands. Cleanse my spirit with your living water right now. Wash away the bitter residue of every betrayal that hurt my heart in the dark. Forgive me for the times when I allowed fear to dictate my choices and doubted your loving promises. I forgive every person who hurt me, lied about my name, or walked away when I needed them most in my lowest hour. I release all resentment and silent anger from my soul tonight. I choose to let go of the painful memories that held my mind in captivity for so many years. I open my heart completely to your divine healing, and I welcome your holy presence into every wounded place inside my vessel. Fill every empty space in my life with your unshakable peace. Heavenly Father, I receive my true identity as your royal child today. I am no longer a helpless slave to fear, financial lack, or generational shame. I am your chosen heir, protected under the shadow of your wings and backed by the full authority of heaven. I step out of the dark shadow of my past, and I walk into the bright light of your promises. I declare that the heavy chains of poverty and struggle are permanently broken off my bloodline. My vessel is filled with your overflowing grace, and your favor surrounds me like a shield wherever I walk on this earth. I trust your perfect timing for my life, and I rest in the absolute certainty that you are fighting my battles even while I sleep. Lord, I yield my mind, my body, and my spirit to your holy order. Let your deep peace fill my bedroom like a warm, protective blanket. Let every tense muscle in my body relax as I sink deeper into your loving arms. I am safe in your care. I am loved beyond measure, and my future is completely secure in your eternal keeping. Thank you for hearing my quiet prayer tonight. Thank you for wiping away every silent tear that I shed in secret when no one else was watching. I rest in your presence with full confidence, knowing that a glorious morning is rising over my life. I receive your healing, I claim your promise, and in your holy name I pray. Amen. Feel my living peace washing over your mind right now, my precious child. The heavy weight that crushed your shoulders for so many years has been lifted away forever. You are clean. You are whole. You are completely free from the haunting ghosts of your past, and my living presence is dwelling inside your living temple right now. Sleep in sweet peace tonight, for the watchmen of heaven are standing guard around your home. The dark storm has passed away, and the quiet stillness of my favor is resting upon your forehead. No evil shall touch your dwelling place, and no weapon formed against your lineage shall prosper as the dawn approaches. Hold fast to this quiet stillness in your soul as you close your eyes tonight. You have surrendered your heavy burdens into my care, and I am already turning your silent tears into streams of living joy. You are deeply cherished by the Creator of the universe, and your long season of suffering has come to an absolute end. Let the warmth of my love soak deep into your bones before you fall asleep. Every broken piece of your heart has been carefully put back together by my hands. The confusion is gone, the fear has lost its power, and an eternal rest has settled upon your spirit. You are my beloved child, and you will wake up refreshed to a bright new day. From this moment on, your identity is officially rewritten at the Supreme Court of Heaven. You are no longer the exhausted survivor weeping in secret behind closed doors. You are no longer the prisoner of silent financial lack or generational shame. And as you step out of this sacred encounter tonight, you walk forward as the empowered heir of the eternal promise, the armed guardian of the covenant, and the sovereign steward of kingdom wealth. The ancient chains of your ancestral bloodline are legally broken into dust tonight. You walk forward not in fear or confusion, but in the fierce awareness that the one who governs the entire universe is leading your steps into massive expansion. The 7 divine contacts were not random events in your past. They were the secret steps of a master builder preparing a royal vessel to carry an extraordinary harvest. Now, you must dedicate your living temple as a sacred sanctuary. You can no longer afford to open your spiritual gates to the toxic noise of a chaotic world. You must guard your peace with holy vigilance. And whenever the world tries to pull you back into anxious striving or self-doubt, you must remember the royal blood that flows in your spiritual veins and stand firm upon my living word. You must build a wall of protection around your quiet mind. The enemy will attempt to lure you back into old habits of worry and complaint as soon as you step away from this screen. But you carry the holy presence of the Most High inside your chest. You have been set apart from the crowd, and you must protect your living sanctuary from every worldly distraction that tries to dim your light. Your home has been transformed into a place of divine peace tonight. My guardian angels are stationed at your front door and around your family borders to shield your household from darkness. The heavy atmosphere of scarcity has cleared completely from your threshold. And as you close your eyes in sleep, my sovereign presence will continue to watch over your soul and align every detail of your future. Do not let the enemy steal this moment of total liberation when you step away from this screen. The enemy is waiting outside your door to scatter your focus and make you forget the covenant you just established in my presence. You must place a permanent physical mark upon your boundary before you step back into the world. You must legally seal your agreement with heaven right now. When you take a physical action in this world, you sign a spiritual contract in the realm beyond. You align your natural body with your heavenly inheritance. That is why taking a small physical step tonight is so vital for your spirit. It acts as a permanent witness that you have turned your back on the wilderness and stepped fully into your royal identity under my shadow. Subscribe to this sanctuary right now and turn on the notification bell to remain under my protective shadow. When you press that button, you are not simply interacting with a digital platform. You are establishing a permanent spiritual anchor in your daily life, making sure that my living voice can reach your heart every single time a new message is released for your journey. Turning on the notification bell is your physical seal upon the threshold of your home. It ensures that you never miss a prophetic word or a divine lifeline sent straight into your sanctuary. It keeps your spiritual eyes awake and keeps your heart connected to the daily oil of my grace. Do not leave your vessel unguarded in a dark world when heaven has provided a holy anchor for your peace. Leave the numbers 777 in the comments below as a physical sign that your long season of lack is officially broken. Write your name or the names of your family members in the space provided. Our dedicated prayer warriors will gather your names and intercede for your household, lifting your lineage before the throne of grace until every promise manifests in your physical hands. Let your comment stand as an eternal memorial before the court of heaven. When those numbers leave your fingers, you are legally declaring that the curse of poverty, sickness, and silent heartbreak is completely broken off your bloodline. You are claiming your royal inheritance, and you are stepping into the full manifestation of the blessing that was promised to your family from the beginning of time. Share this divine lifeline with one weary soul who is fighting a silent battle tonight. Be the channel of deliverance that my hands are using to lift another broken heart out of the dark. When you extend my light to others, your own light shines brighter, and the windows of heaven open even wider over your home. You become a living conduit of kingdom abundance. You are deeply loved by the King of Kings. You are shielded by His grace, empowered by His Spirit, and established in His eternal favor. Walk in full confidence from this hour forward, knowing that your long wilderness is over and your royal harvest has officially begun. Rest in my absolute peace tonight, my beloved child, for your victory is sealed forever in my holy name.